my brother. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. How you doing?
Good, good. First and foremost, told my dad about the series.
Hmm.
He's from Lagos, Nigeria. So
Really
yeah,
sensational,
man, it
sensational.
was
Yeah,
it was so dope, man. I
yeah.
loved it. I loved it. We can't wait for him to see it and everyone to see
Mhm.
it. I want to know, just kind of first off, what type of impact would seeing a animated series like this have impacted your life?
Yeah,
um, when you were younger, if you were to see something like this?
yeah, man. Bro, unbelievable, unbelievable. Even watching it, I still can't believe that that's my voice coming out of that character. I think a lot of us grew up with Disney. Disney influences, whether we like it or not. It was almost like you're born with a little bit of Disney programming. And so, but I just never imagined that I'd be able to see my neighborhood. We've watched Aladdin and we've seen the Middle East. We've watched Ratatouille, we've seen France, we've seen Egypt, we've seen Italy, we've seen all these other countries represented, under that landscape. But to see Nigeria like that was amazing, man. And accurately, I think, whether I really have to give credit to our producers, Ziki Adeola and Tololo Foyku and Hamid Ibrahim, they were champions, and Disney as well, Christina Chan, they were champions of let's make it as authentic as possible. So you're going to see streets that are accurate. You're going to see the island. You're going to see the mainland. You're going to see places and foods and culture and fashion, very well represented. So it was a sensory overload. It was incredible.
No, it was funny. I talked to my dad afterwards and I was like, all this, he's just talking and then it's like the pigeon, then some Yoruba,
Yeah, yeah.
English. I was like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first was looking at your character, I said, oh, I don't like you. I didn't like you at all.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was like I was just kind of thinking of like how it is out there and the stories I heard from my my father and things like that. So it was so authentic to me, being
right.
someone who's never been there but grew up in a household that was heavily influenced by just Nigerian culture. So
Yeah,
again, oh man, it's phenomenal.
yeah.
Um,
But I
I
gotta I gotta speak to that a little bit. That
please.
was another one where when the story was unfolding, I was worried like, ooh, will I was worried for a second, will a Western audience understand a very tough father like that? Somebody who wants to protect his daughter and is overprotective to a fault, and that plays a part of the story that we're telling. He has an arc that he has to go on himself. But we were like, no, that's authentic. That's really what it's like. Let's push it. And Disney, who's usually known for sentimentality, I thought they would try to curve it back a little bit and say, he's a little bit too strong coffee. But they were like, no, if that's really authentic. And I was like, yeah, that's how a lot of what I mean? That's how a lot of fathers are. They were like, then go all the way with it, and if you do it authentically, the audience will understand why he's that way. But yeah, Tunde is strong coffee, man.
Tunde
No doubt
is
about it.
strong,
Yeah.
man, but
Yeah,
it's also strong in love. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
for
that
sure.
people, I always tell the story like my father didn't tell me he loved me till I was like 27,
Yeah,
right?
man.
And it wasn't that he didn't love me because clearly they show it differently, right? But I
Yes.
think, when he got to a certain age or him feel comfortable or whatever the case may be, to finally
Mhm.
say it, it meant something. But, I always knew he loved me, but it was kind of shown differently. So I definitely
Yeah,
agree with kind of what it looks like on your side.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, your pops is from a different world. You just have to understand, like, he's from a different world. He's from a world where men were raised to show their love and not speak of their love. And obviously, we're from a generation that's really trying to dispel all those myths, and to change the narrative about men and mental health and being open and being vulnerable in the right under the right circumstances. So, our story speaks to that. Tunde is from a different world. He's from the mainland. He's from Ajegunle, so him just making it is the first step of his evolution. Give him a little time on the sentimentality, but he'll get there eventually, which I think the story shows.
No, that's awesome. And also, Iwájú is future in
Correct.
Yoruba. So I love the fact that Nigeria is kind of the epic center of futuristic. When I saw old girl putting her hairstyle, I was like, I want to clicked on it and like I was like, oh, this is where we
Yeah,
are. Love it.
Yeah.
How was it to see and to make and to have Nigeria kind of being depicted as kind of the center of this Afrofuturism?
Bro, proud, very proud. You know what I mean? Sometimes, as Africans and West Africans, we can sometimes feel like the forgotten people, the forgotten nation, and like we contribute so much to the zeitgeist and so much to culture. I mean, look at music right now. You can't really mention music without Burna Boy, without Ashake, without Wizkid, Davido. You know what I'm saying? And even like some of our greatest Nigerian, actors, myself excluded, talking David Oyelowo and John Boyega and Chiwetel Ejiofor. We've been killing it for a minute now, but we always feel like we're almost forgotten to an extent. And so to see us depicted in such a beautiful way, in such an honest way, in terms of it's still a reflection of today. We're not just saying, oh, Nigeria is just amazing utopia. No, we're still showing that we will be struggling with some of those class issues in the future, but we will move forward. You know what I mean? Because I do believe people's hearts are in the right place. So it was amazing to see all that, man. It really, really was. And just again, just proud to be a part of that. And there's a wish fulfillment thing in the show. There's a scene where I think people are gonna love it, specifically Nigerians, because we're notorious for having terrible traffic. And they're in this car, and so they're fortunate enough to have a car that can fly over
That could fly.
Every Nigerian has dreamt of that. Every single Nigerian has dreamt about flying over Nigerian traffic. So I just think that moment alone is definitely just one of those, we all grew up in the same house kind of situation where when people see that, they're just gonna laugh their asses off, because it's such a wish fulfillment moment. And the movie is the series is littered with moments like that.
No, and there's all again like these little nuggets that I'm like, oh, like just as someone who knows, I know that our the people that have kind of that culture in them and know about it will definitely gravitate to it. But also to me, I just feel like everybody has an opportunity, young or old, to really enjoy this story as a grown person, because I don't think it's a child film or child series by any means.
Yeah.
Like going on the next episode, what's going on? I literally love watching completely with every episode trying to figure out what's happening next. But you spoke a little bit about this topic, and I want you to just dive a little bit deeper on your thoughts on Hollywood's newfound interest in sharing content about the African diaspora.
Yeah, I think it's about time. I think we've been waiting for this for a very long time. And honestly, I have to applaud, cinema coming out from different parts of the world. The stuff coming out from North Korea. You're looking at Parasite, you're looking at Squid Game. These filmmakers that came and told their stories completely undiluted. And they basically just took the stance of, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. We're not going to try to change it to the Western ear. And they've been able to do that to tremendous success. You look at RRR last year from India, they're just doing their own thing. And I think Hollywood is starting to see, oh, we don't have to do the American version of, we just do that. You know what I'm saying? So, if you just look at the global cinematic landscape, Hollywood makes the most movies, it's Bollywood next, and believe it or not, it's Nollywood, in third position. So I think just naturally, Africa is being looked at as the next, breeding ground for incredible, authentic, original, undiluted stories. You've seen it with, them dipping their toes with Black Panther, The Woman King, and I think they're starting to say, okay, cool, let's see how we can diversify the type of media and not diluting it. Don't try to make them sound like, white Africans. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people, if you look at The Lion King, all the cast were all like, Americans. If you look at Simba himself was Matthew Broderick, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, no, they were like, we want to cast all authentic Nigerian voices. And they did that. So yeah, man, I think very, very fun times. And this is only the beginning, for sure.
I'm excited. Well, this was phenomenal. Thank you so much. That's my time, my brother. Phenomenal job. And don't worry about it, man. I'm telling everybody.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Talk soon.
Talk soon.